Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
What's up, TJ? How you feeling?
Self-Care Sundays is here, baby. We are here to take care of ourselves. It's been a stressful week and stressful weekend. You know, I think the holiday cheer is entering, but it also, you know, coming along with holiday cheer is the seasonal depression as well. Is that something that you suffer from, or do you thrive in the holidays?
The holidays are kind of a net neutral for me. Like, I don't get excited, but I also don't get depressed. It's just kind of another day in the cycle of life. But, you know, it's different in California because every day is truly the same. You know, like weather-wise, I mean, like on the East Coast, it's like, you know, it's snowing and there's fucking leaves on the ground. It feels appropriate. Here, it could be July, it could be September. Who knows?
Ain't no leave. Yeah, the only leave is an indica or a sativa here, baby.
Damn, yeah, you already know. MedMen is the only leaves changing.
Yeah, we yesterday, my life partner likes to season push, not as it pertains to a fall winter 21 collection, but more so the holiday season. And we had to put up the Christmas decorations yesterday.
Bro, I mean, you leaked that information to me, and I'm honestly, I would be absolutely livid to do that. I've never, as an adult, I've never put up a Christmas tree. I've never hung a light. I've never decorated for any holiday in my entire adult life.
Yeah, and that comes as no surprise to anyone that your Grinch ass doesn't. I think for me, the difference is, I think that there are jobs that each person has of what something, you know, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, what you should be responsible for. For me, it's like I take the tree out from the garage. You know, it's in the garage rafters, so it's my job to pull the big, heavy tree down and to set it all up and unfurl the synthetic branches. And then, but then when it comes time to like actually putting the decorations and ornaments on, that's something that I don't necessarily need to be a part of. Like, it doesn't. That is a real net neutral for me. But you also, you know, you have to pretend. You know, if you want to maintain a successful symbiotic relationship,
that's true.
You have to pretend. So I can't just be like, you know, whatever, just put it on however you want. I really don't give a shit. That part is, I get no joy out of the dressing itself, which is kind of odd. I just want to I just want to see the finished product.
I think traditionally the dressing is the part that like a family would do together that warms the cockles as the fire is raging in a Norman Rockwell style painting.
Yeah, ain't no family bitch on this side.
No, but I mean, I guess I just don't. I don't know. It seems. I mean, I guess you have a fake tree, which is The only good part about a tree to me is the fragrance, which luckily Ralph Lauren and Diptyque have both put into wax form for a low price of like $50, so I can get the smell of holiday without having to get the cleanup. You know what I'm saying? No dustbusters on this side.
Yeah, I think that, since I am such a holistic daddy, I think that using a fake tree is the way to go. I think that in the future, much like the electric car, having a traditional tree, maybe in the next, maybe 10 years from now, it will be considered poor taste and kind of like a Republican like activity, something that a Trump supporter would still hold on to, the traditional American values, not in addition to things like littering and slavery and stuff like that.
Christmas in itself is a Trump holiday, bro. Think about it.
Well,
okay, your third eye is not open, and Christmas, if not only does it have my name in it, but it also has the name of Christ. And that's something you need to consider, Jason, because much like the right wingers that you're opposed to, it sides with God, and that's why I don't have an affinity for it.
Yeah, but me and my Antifa life partner have co-opted Christmas and made it our own, where it can be like, we were listening to Christmas carols or Christmas songs yesterday on Spotify. Make sure you download the Spotify app and search for How Long Gone. But we pulled up the Bing Crosby holiday.
Oh my
mixtape.
God, bro, you are cucked. I had no idea how bad this was.
Yeah, I know. But I never want to hear the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas Is You." I never want to hear that ever again. And I'm very close to never wanting to hear "Last Christmas" by Wham.
Which is unfortunate, because that, I would say, might be the best Christmas song.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly believe that.
We are Wham Hive on this side.
Yeah. But I've just heard it so many times now, and especially all the years of DJing. And I was
going to ask, what are you going to play at the Sweet Green Christmas party this year if you don't play Mariah Carey or Wham?
There ain't going to be no Sweet Green Christmas party this year. I don't know if it's in the budget.
They're gonna hold it in one of their closed locations. Okay, well,
So like every year it was always like, oh, it's DJ time, and as soon as you play that first, you have to be careful when you play Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas," because if you do it a little too early, it'll leave a sour taste in your audience's mouth of like, nah, bro, too early. Even for me, it's too early. So you have to wait. Usually I would say, like, if I'm DJing somewhere around like first week of December is as early as you can go, because as soon as you break that seal, you can never
it's open.
Yeah, you can't take it back. So you have to be very, if you do it too early, then there's no foreplay, there's no build up, but you need to edge yourself a little bit, and then finally have that holiday nut, and it's more satisfying.
As I personally just watch the Nutcracker every year alone as I cry. But I'm just kidding. I'm surprised. I don't understand, as a food guy, that's kind of your whole thing. Like, I like food, I cook food, I talk about food. That's your whole thing. It's surprising to me that you would skip right to Christmas when Thanksgiving, which is a food-based holiday. Well, it's a terror-based holiday. Because it's based on awful behavior by white people, but food. What we've turned it into is a disgusting, fattening brown food day, which is something that I feel like TJ would embrace and not want to just glaze over. No pun intended.
like a
nice, turkey, like a ham,
like a nice carrot,
more like a honey baked ham. I don't know if you're familiar.
Ham. Sure,
are you familiar with the honey baked franchise?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they glaze a great ham down there.
That's a big Linda Black favorite. One of her favorite go-tos.
Big LB loves to glaze the ham.
She doesn't glaze the ham. She purchases the ham glazed.
Yeah, so just how you would. You're like, why would I do that when I could pay somebody to glaze for me?
Unfortunately, my parents don't really subscribe to my absolutely insane ideals, but sometimes there is an overlap.
Yeah, I mean, you had to have received it somehow, through your DNA and through your the nature and nurture But
I mean,
yeah.
So what's on the Thanksgiving menu for TJ? I mean, are we doing a tofurkey? Are we doing? I mean, what's the plan, bro?
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving really has taken a lot of hits lately. If it were a stock on the Dow Jones, it would not.
No, it would be red. It'd be in the red. I mean, as a person who celebrates both Canadian and American Thanksgiving, I am surprised to see the Canadian Thanksgiving thriving from reports from Al and others, and now
that's because those guys over there are still okay with. I mean, because is it sort of the same thing? It's celebrating.
I don't think so. Actually,
because America and our Thanksgiving has definitely been tarnished by the fact that we all realize that, it is celebrating the tradition of raping and pillaging and stealing the land of the indigenous people.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of that, and then you're kind of like, well, what are we even celebrating to begin with, other than just like a chance to be in the same
and first of all,
this year, shitty family members and their shitty cousins.
This year, Jason, according to your, local politician Gavin Newsom, we're not gathering. No. I don't pay any state tax yet.
Gav, he had a nice little super spreader meal at the French Laundry. Their seasonal produce was too good to keep under wraps, and he did have to have a super spreader dinner.
I love that Big Gav, who said, you can only gather with 6 people and you can't sing, is out at French Laundry bawling. I mean, think about the wine bill alone.
Yeah, he was singing all through that.
Oh, actually, too. I think, Gavin Newsom also was sober and now drinks wine, I believe, which is an interesting twist.
How do you feel about that as a sober king? Is that a quitter? He was not true till death.
I'm not really clear on his. I mean, I know that he led a pretty twisted, cool life up until becoming the #1 cuck in America. But I don't know if that's. I mean, look,
I don't know anything about him except everyone on my social media hates him. And he has a sick house in
he's like
Park.
He's hot and used to party, so like that's why people think he's cool until he became like the police basically. So
he's a politician.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't. Yes, him getting busted at a party is. I mean, it's just so funny. It's so good.
Yeah, that does seem kind of like some Bush League amateur hour behavior, because he has to know that he's got eyeballs on him, and he can't break that or cross the picket line or break the seal in his own home state.
I think he came out and was like, well, it was socially distanced, it was outside, and it's like, bitch, we don't care. Like, you can't, it don't matter. You're literally in charge. We don't care.
Yeah, he's saying do as I say, not as I do, which I guess would also make him a politician. But yeah,
Jason, you know what I'm discovering in 2020, bro?
What's
politicians, man? They're not great.
They're not great. And they used to be able, to cook. They used to really be able to have fun and do stuff. And they're like, hey, I worked hard, I campaigned, and I got into office, and now I'm going, much like your theories on it's not worth being a celebrity or famous anymore because, all of your perks are gone. You can't do drugs. You can't cheat on your spouse. You can't, receive payola from crooked union.
If you're not, honestly,
there's no perk. There's no, and the same thing as being famous.
If you can't get payola, there's no point in being in power. That's the #1 reason to be in power.
Mm-hmm. But you can't do anything because there's always going to be an eyeball watching you and ready to bust you big time.
That being said, if you want your music featured on How Long Gone Radio, go ahead and Venmo Jason $1,000. We'll be able to do that for you
for a one light measly rack, and we will.
Rack is low, and we're getting a lot of listens. I'm not going to disclose any numbers, but
it's big numbers.
It ain't a. We're not going to have to do a recount at How Long Gone Radio, if you know what I'm saying. But I mean, I'm sorry we got off track, but Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. What is the plan for TJ? What is the menu looking like?
Well, there's a couple things brewing. So one of my TJ traditions is whipping up a nice batch of deviled eggs, which I know is pretty disgusting to you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, those are disgusting. That for some reason the deviled egg is just, even though it's a southern delicacy which should be in my blood, I don't know, I can't do it. I don't even hate them. It's just not for me.
Did you ever like eating an egg salad sandwich?
I don't like that either. I only like my eggs hot.
But you do like an egg at the end of the day.
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah, I was eating a lot of eggs during the beginning of the pandemic. But I've obviously now.
Yeah, I mean, who amongst us wasn't?
I'm only eating smoothies and water. And no, but I don't really. I could be doing it here, but it's just not conducive to that. I can actually. I can cook up an egg pretty slick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So your deviled egg tradition.
Deviled eggs. I even though I am now a Sir Kensington mayonnaise fluencer, and they did drop off the pack with, especially looking forward to trying out their new flavors of unreleased different sauces and spreads. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna kill myself. I quit. Jesus Christ.
The homies over at Sir Kensington, they make a mayonnaise that unfortunately is too flavorful for a deviled egg.
Oh, it's too much. It would overpower the rest of the egg.
Yeah. So I like when you use the Sir Kensingtons in anything other than a sandwich, like if you make a ranch dressing out of it or a deviled egg out of it, it has almost too much of a flavor. Not unlike when you're using, when people will make mayonnaises, they say to like, don't use like a really high quality olive oil or something like that, because it seems like a good idea, but it really does work best with like a neutral kind of like canola or vegetable oil, because it'll just be too weird of a flavor. So I'm gonna have to get some Best Foods or some shit like that. Hard boil up those eggs. Run them through a fine mesh sieve, get all the lumps out, whip it up with a little, I like to put some caramelized onions or shallots in there, and it starts to take on the flavor of a In-N-Out double. I'm sure you can find a recipe online somewhere. Just search for me. And then this year is finally going to be the year, just at the very least in the name of content, to finally attempt making a deep fried turkey.
That seems like a difficult thing to do, though.
It is difficult, and it's dangerous, and it's messy, and I'm never going to make one again, but I think it will be, just in the name of content and a fun time. My life partner's mom gave me their deep fryer, their outdoor deep fryer last year.
So you have the equipment.
I have all the gear, the pro attitude. It's been just burning a hole in my garage for the last year. So we'll probably whip up one of those boys, but I'm really looking forward to a nice plate of stuffing. Are you a stuffing boy?
No, I mean, it's not bad actually, but I don't really ever think about it. It just seems, it's just bread, right?
It's like bread that you mix with liquid, usually like a turkey stock or a chicken stock or something like that, and then a bunch of spices like some sage and things like that, and then onions and carrots and all that stuff, and then you bake it like a lasagna almost, so it's kind of like a savory bread pudding is the desired effect.
Stuffing is good. I just, again, it's one of those
but
foods.
It is just a brown puck at the end of the day.
Why is that? That is a particular dish that absolutely never comes up any other time. It's a Thanksgiving exclusive.
It is a Thanksgiving exclusive, and I'm looking forward this year to, because I have like a little bit of a memory attached to it, because my grandma used to make it every year, and there was a little bit of, there was some nice holiday memories attached to it. Yeah. But there are some wild stuffing recipes out there that you can really get like foodie loser on it. I know that a lot of the traditional, like one of the very early ways of doing it is to add a bunch of oysters to it, which is absolutely twisted. But
whoa, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever. You're saying that's very traditional?
Yeah. Because I think the stuffing was kind of like we need like a stick to your ribs type of meal that will fill us up, because we're all poor and cold. And back in the day, oysters were just like waste, like a poor people's slop food that nobody ate and nobody cared about. And it was just like you would just buy a dozen oysters for a nickel, and only the poor people ate them. And now, obviously, they're a high dollar gourmet item. But so you would just mix a bunch of old stale bread with some broth and some oysters and shit, and then you would have like a hearty meal that'll fill you up because you are, gonna die from some type of scurvy or ankle rot or black lung back in the day. But I'm gonna try to make it this year with everything bagels.
Oh wow, that's an interesting twist.
Yeah, baby. Everything.
Do they have to? Do they have to be like kind of stale?
Yeah, you got to stale them out a little bit so then they'll absorb that liquid without turning into just a paste of mush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all that going on. My favorite Sober King holiday tradition is the Martinelli's sparkling apple cider.
Yes.
I know you can't besmirch that.
No. That's, I never loved that, but I do like a swig here and there. That was a popular drink among the vegan straight edge community.
Hell yeah.
As you can imagine. Yeah. It also comes in that nice glass, it's an interesting vessel.
Yeah, every Christmas I would at least order 2 bottles to my section.
Do they make it in bigger ones?
They should absolutely make Martinelli Magnums. That sounds like a male porn star's name.
I feel like they
for like an Italian dick slinger with a real massive salami. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. I feel like that is a good idea, but I feel like I've only seen Martinelli's in the little guys.
Yeah, just a standard champagne bottle. Maybe we'll send him a deck. It might be a little too late for this year.
We could, look. I mean, these things take time. Activations, new product launches. You know what I mean? It's stuff that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah,
and time,
the amount of, we call it runway in the biz, but
okay, thanks.
The amount of runway for that, it's just not feasible for Q4 2020.
No, you're right. You're right.
I experienced a little bit of a meltdown yesterday.
Well, it's rare for unflappable TJ to be.
Yeah, your boy flapped. So. There, we've been so busy, and I have been like struggling to find the time to really have like a relaxing time. And usually for somebody like me, Team Virgo, to relax, I need to be alone in silence, kind of. And I bought a fishing rod a few months.
You've participated in the angling arts before.
Yeah, as a young youth growing up in Orange County, I spent a lot of my time down at the old fishing hole, and it didn't really matter if we caught much. It was just more of, we liked it. My brother and I went all the time. So I bought a fishing pole. My brother, he got like a fly fishing reel and rod because, I don't know, that's what cool people do. And I said, "Nay, I'm going for a regular all-American one." I ordered a reel tree fishing pole, a bait casting rod and reel. I got all my gear loaded up. What were
the reviews on the reel tree? Or did you just gravitate towards that because of the strong brand and the look?
It was basically I was like, I'm not going to spend over $100 on this. Like, you can get some crazy shit, but I was like, I'll get something that's like $80-$90. Like, I'm not going to go hog wild. And I got it. I reeled it up. I got a little tackle kit. Found a local place in the fine city of Pacoima, which is a dam, an awful town. What a shithole.
Where is it in relation to Los Angeles?
So it's like in the Northeast Valley. It's actually like 20 minutes from my house. It wasn't far at all. But
that's nice.
But it's a world away. Like it felt like I was in a methed out, like kind of New Mexico like industrial plant type of area.
That sounds like a picturesque fishing village.
I was talking to Ariel from Mr. Green about it because he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to go fishing," and he was like, "Yo, Pacoima." The only thing I know about Pacoima is whenever I order like he has a business and they like order merchandise and sell it wholesale, blah blah blah, clothes and items. He's like, oh, the only thing I know about Pacoima is whenever a package gets processed through Pacoima, it comes up missing. And that's all he had to say. It's a rough little town, but there's a man-made dam that was built however long ago, and then it created like a lake, and they stock it with fish, whatever. And I went there, and within 5 minutes, my reel got what you would call birds nested. Where
much like like back in the day when you have multiple sets of regular Apple headphones, you know.
yes. Except this is with like 300 feet of string that's all tied onto a little reel. And
yeah, that seems like a problem, bro.
It was a big problem, and I sat there kind of quietly fuming, convincing myself that I would just untangle this eventually, and then half an hour later I just had to pull the plug, get right back in my car, and drive straight home.
Damn, I think that's a fair beginning to a meltdown. You know what I mean?
So it was kind of like, like we've both been so busy. We've, as much as we talk about how we live a casual, carefree lifestyle, like we do a lot. We do a lot of shit. We do like 4 podcasts a week now, and I produce 4 other podcasts on the side that that takes up a lot of my time, and then all the other shit that we're doing, and friends and family and relationships to maintain, and yard work. There's so much going on, so I was like, what, I'm gonna make some time for myself. I'm gonna go do it. And as soon as that did not come to fruition, like I didn't even want to catch a fish. I didn't care. I just wanted to spend 3 hours like in silence, just like staring at water, maybe have a couple cigs, who knows. And I couldn't talk for like an hour after it happened. And my girlfriend
you were that upset.
It was bad. It was bad, but it wasn't about the fishing pole. It was about that, like, just that everything. I like, finally I'm going to have some time to just do nothing, turn the brain off. And then even that didn't work out. So, like so many things in life, you have to look at it as like, what is the real REEL.
Dig deeper.
What is the real issue here at hand? Obviously, like me having to drive to some shitty fishing hole and it not working out is not the end of the world. I'm not that much of a baby, but it's like it all came crashing down on me.
I had a similar moment like that last week when I drove down to do my run, and I got out of the car and realized I'd forgotten my AirPods.
Ooh. Did you do a musicless run?
I did. I powered through.
And how did that work out?
It wasn't that bad, honestly. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I don't know. Actually, my time wasn't bad. It was fine. Mm-hmm. I was glad that I pushed. I did consider similarly like turning around and driving and picking them up and coming back, but I just was like, that's gonna. I don't have the time.
I've done that before.
Cut it too close.
And I've done that enough times to know that like you have to push through and not worry about it, and then do a musicless workout. And once you successfully finish it, you really feel proud of yourself.
I did. I felt like I had. Yeah. I mean, I think it. The music is probably a crutch. I'm not sure what, as maybe just a distraction. But
the music is 1,000,000,000% a crutch, and it's kind of. I like to do those situations where you deprive yourself of any and all distractions, and then all you have to do is focus on like the inner thoughts of your crooked, twisted mind.
It's obviously terrifying.
It is. Yeah, we were talking about that. I don't remember when I was saying like if I don't smoke weed, I have dreams.
Oh yeah, we were talking about with Dasha. We were talking about that.
yeah. And that's a similar vibe where like sometimes I just have to go to sleep. Whatever it is, once a year, I will bite the bullet and sleep without that sweet chronic in my system. And then I just kind of grip it and rip it, and then I have 3 months worth of nightmares stored up in the hard drive ready to go. And then I put a wooden spoon in between my teeth. I tell my girlfriend to go. I get my girlfriend a room at the Ace downtown and say, honey, don't come back until the coast is clear.
Wow.
And then I just ride it out, white knuckle sweat. You know, you've seen overdosing scenes or like, you know, heroin withdrawal scenes in movies. It's kind of that same energy.
Damn, I didn't know it was that serious for you. That's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take care of this head, and you know, with bomb ass edibles and bomb ass bong rips. Yeah, but don't worry, I will be chiefing tonight. And, you know, whatever, watching SNL or something. Was there SNL last night? I didn't watch it.
No, there was not. They took a week off after the.
I think our loyal listeners probably needed a week off of us spending 38 minutes of our hour-long podcast talking about the SNL monologue. So you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean thanks, Lauren, for giving us the day off too. The week off. The week off. I'm sorry, I should have used the proper nomenclature.
You were.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
You were talking about loving the Christmas smell most of all.
Yeah.
And I have like a guilty pleasure where I love the smell of those shitty like scented pine cones and cinnamon stick brooms that you buy as you walk into the muddy door of Michael's
craft store.
But they also when you go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, they'll have a little collection of those items at the doorstep.
Yeah.
And I've never purchased it. My girlfriend is like, you are not putting that in our house. Like, it's going to step all over our Frederick Mall candles and shit.
You're saying you like the way they look? You like the the whole thing?
I like the smell, and I think that's like something that I've talked about with my therapist back when I was in therapy. Of like, I have some weird association or enjoyment from bad, low quality smells, like cheap men's cologne, like Axe body spray, old Spice type shit. Like I would never purchase it or use it or any of that. But if I walk by somebody wearing, you know, like some shitty, like
it brings you back
drugstore cologne, I have like a fucked up enjoyment of it. And I think
that is interesting.
It is interesting, which is bad because, you know, there's a lot of classist attachment to shaming to have, you know, you have to enjoy the smell of expensive candles. You can't enjoy, you know, Bath and Body Works scents or things like that. You have to enjoy, you know, a Frederick Mall candle scent, or even a diptyque nowadays makes you look like a poor person, especially, you know, that could just be the people who I hang out with. Mainly you and my life partner. But you know, like having a dip, like if I came home with a diptyque candle, you would laugh at me and my girlfriend would be like, is that going in the garage? Like, how does this work? But I don't know why.
Well, maybe you could
I think this year I'm going to strong arm my life partner, and I'm going to show up with a collection of pine cones that were sprayed with some cinnamon stick, you know, chemical, and I'm gonna park it by the door and slurp it up. And that's what love is all about, compromise.
Well,
you know?
maybe you could make the garage like TJ's lair and just stack a bunch of them in there, so it's just overpowering when you hit the garage.
Well, you know, can you call it a man cave anymore when you fill it with the flavors of pumpkin and cinnamon spice?
I think in 2020, yes, Jason. I think that's a modern take.
Well, I'm not a modern man. I'm holding on to the traditions of American bro culture.
Yeah, that doesn't include scented pine cones.
Yeah, and if
I guess that's true.
My man cave is where I play my all new super big PS5, and then I do my my deadlifts, and I can't be huffing and puffing and gaming with that smell.
This PS5 thing is really, I didn't know people were that was shocking how much ink that was getting this week. People were really excited about the PS5.
Yeah, I even saw Bo and Yang's gay ass making a joke about it, and I was like, wow, what's going on here? Like,
is it that hard to get? Is that part of it? Is that it's just like another limited edition thing?
Yeah, I mean, not unlike kind of like a Nike sneakers app or something like that. That's the vibe of the memes going on, but more so people were talking like making jokes about how large it is.
Because because there's so much power. Is that the idea?
I guess, but like, yeah, it's it's big. Like, fucking, who cares? Whatever. If you
But it's
if you have, maybe because people want to hide them, they don't want it. They
oh,
don't want
I
it to be
see. I
seen,
see.
But when you have
I
that
see.
big old thing parking on your
But
on your
was a
shitty
ti-
IKEA TV shelf, it's
there was
it's gonna
there
dry
was
the
a
pussy up.
time there was a time though where I thought those the like remember when people used those for like the DVD player, you know what I mean? So it was like, I use it. No, it doubles as a DVD player. So like I just
Babe,
it's just
babe, it has now we have Blu-ray, babe. It's all good.
that
That
but I
was a
did
smart
s-
idea. And
Very.
as soon as physical media was eliminated from the Criterion collection, that made it real tough for a lot of people I know.
Yes. It is quite tough. I agree. But I did see that Microsoft, the good people at Microsoft tweeted like a congratulations to them on the release, like as an olive branch from one gaming system to another.
And there was no snark or backhanded
no.
compliment behind it. It was all love, baby.
I think it was kind of like, we both continue to raise the bar for one another, and it just makes gaming a better place.
That's
is kind
king
of the vibe.
shit, baby.
That really is king shit. We're above it all, which I'm working to be more above it all. I think that's the place where we need to
I don't
get.
think you are.
No, I am.
Okay, good.
I said working. Okay.
Yeah, have you seen this news about the coronavirus, man? I think corona's coming back.
I know, man. Look, I guess they're going to say some stuff tomorrow. They like to let you have your weekend,
Yeah, thank fucking God.
But yeah, it's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, I can't
think.
hear news until I finish all my college football games, and then you can tell me about how my family will die tomorrow.
Exactly.
But as much as we joke around about super spreading, it's we also have to remember that is joking, and we still need to be at least a little bit vigilant about what we're doing and take it somewhat seriously. So make sure that we're all doing the Joe Rogan program of taking cool vitamins.
Yeah, you got to take the vitamins.
But yeah, make sure you're having your wellness formula, the capsule, not the press. No, we don't do pressies of wellness formula because that tastes.
I learned
like
I learned my lesson the hard way, but I'm still feeling healthy, thank God.
Yeah,
I do think that
those of us who can afford to go to bed early, I think those of us that's who is going to live.
that's really what it is. Yeah, getting 9 hours of sleep is truly the key to health.
I haven't been like, I get sick a decent amount. Like, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I'll catch a crippling cold that puts me down for a week. And, since coronavirus came around in March, since we've done this podcast, maybe that's the through line. I have not been sick, and I've been freezing, wrapping my body in heat tech and all that
I'm
shit.
so cold. I'm so cold.
Yet I have not got sick one time, and I think a lot of that obviously has to do with travel. I'm not a jet setting DJ anymore, taking a little weekender jet to Denver to blast Red Rocks with Wes. So that has helped, and I'm not, but I think the main thing is the sleep. Like, everybody, makes little social media jokes about it, but like, dead ass, everyone's going to bed at 9:00. Like, everyone I know.
No, that is true. No, I think that the sleep schedule has been extended for sure. I mean, I don't.
But it was a sobering news to wake up and hear that R&B's Jeremih is fighting for his life from COVID.
Yeah, I need some more confirmation on that. I feel like it's a little bit like I believe it, but also the source is a 50 Cent tweet. So I think I think we might need to. I totally believe it. It's very plausible, but I think we need to get a better source on that than a 50 Cent tweet.
But I mean, how do you feel like if you had coronavirus and it was like respirator ventilator level, would you keep it keep it in the family and not release any news publicly, or would you make a press release or a public announcement about it?
I don't know if I would make an announcement necessarily, but I guess I'm also nobody. I think if you're a celebrity, maybe there's a pressure to announce things when maybe you don't need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I just, to me, the fact that there has been no, press release or anything about it
makes it real.
It's a bad sign, because whenever a celebrity or a famous person catches that roan, they're very quickly to say, like when The Rock had it, or Tom Hanks or whoever, within an hour they'll release a video of them like, I'm doing fine. Me and the kids, we're all good. We're quarantined. We're going to fight through this thing. And then like 3 days later, you forget that they even had it, and they're fine and they're back on set, filming stupid movies. But this one is just like, damn, bro, like, I don't know. And I don't, like, if the Rona takes Jeremiah, my hand to God, hopefully it doesn't happen, but that's going to fuck a lot of people up. I think that's going to make all of these fucking Corona mask off mansion parties that are happening in West Hollywood, I think that's going to change some things.
Well, I think it could. I mean, maybe. I think that with like TikTokers, I think they're just too young to care about anything, because they don't understand that,
they didn't know that election just happened. They didn't know.
They don't.
Why are all these people wearing these masks? They're kind of sick.
Yeah, I've seen a couple cool ones. Maybe I should check it out. I just think that if you're 20, I mean, that was the whole thing that I was saying with with these young people, and I mean, just what would you be doing if you were 20 and rich and good looking and famous?
Yeah,
it's
but
like
there's a lot
not
of people.
That's an excuse. That's not an excuse, but it is like, you got to remember what we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with fucking geniuses.
But a lot of them are not young people. They don't have that like, oh, I'm 19 and a millionaire excuse. There's a lot of people who are like, I'm 32 and I just got to get my fucking party on. And I think we maybe Jeremiah will become a martyr to set an example for people to be like, hey man, we do have to take this seriously. Like, yes, you're probably not going to die from it. Yes, you can go and like.
Well, Jason, though, for all we know, Jeremiah could have gotten it at Kroger. He might not have been at a party. I mean, we can't confirm that Jeremiah was partying. And I hate
of all the places, we had to say Kroger.
Well, I thought maybe he lives in Atlanta. I don't know where he lives. So
yeah, I think he's a Chicago boy, but I know he spends a lot of time in LA. But I mean, just people. I mean, there's been a lot of musicians and celebrities and all these people who are like, they've been in the studio the whole time. The whole time Corona has been going on for months. Like, people have been in studios. Like, people I know who own and operate and rent their professional recording studios out. Everyone has been like, this is as busy as I've ever been. Like, we are booked up because people have nothing to do.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time to be in the lab.
It's a good time to be in the lab, but the problem is, like, the lab is a soundproof room that has no windows, no doors, no ventilation, except for like different flavors of runts moving in and out of Studio B and Studio
So
D.
hold on, you're saying that me blowing runts is not ventilation? I thought that helped.
It's just air being, like if you own a recording studio, you just spent $400,000 on like recording gear. You're probably not going to like reserve another 400 for an extensive HVAC HEPA filtered system. It's just going to be some shitty ass thing that like takes Ariana Grande's virus, moves it up into some pipe above the ceiling and back down into Jeremiah's lab and vice versa. And it's fucked up, man. So we can still hang out in our friends' backyards from 6 feet. We can still, give somebody a little elbow bump here and there, wear your mask and everything like that. But like, I think we've now learned, now that it's been almost a fucking year, like what you kind of have to do and what you kind of can't skimp on. Like, let's just make sure that we're still being a little vigilant. That's all I want to say. I don't want to see fucking Jeremiah die. But I mean, I just read a tweet that said, since March or whatever, more people have died from the coronavirus in South Dakota than South Korea. And South Dakota is a place that doesn't even have 1 million people in it, and South Korea has whatever, like fucking 50 million people in it. And
that is a sobering statistic.
So yeah, South Korea had like 498 people die out of 50 million, and South Dakota had more people die, because they're just dumb. They're just not. They're not doing the very basic. Like, we don't have to be crazy. We don't have to like be extra wild, and we don't have to bleach our bananas.
Well,
but just wear the mask and wash your hands, drink some water, and sleep, and we'll probably be okay. And if we do that, then like this time next winter, we will be able to like have Thanksgiving with our families again, and we will be able to.
No one wants to do that. Okay, no one wants to do that. People want to be able to go to the club and go to the gym. Let's be real. No one cares about the other stuff. That's not.
Sorry, we'll be able to have our Friendsgiving.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
What's worse, Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving, Chris?
Friendsgiving for sure. I mean, there's just
you would rather hang out with your family than have a Friendsgiving.
Well, it's just the terminology. It has nothing to do with the actual event. It's more the terminology for sure. Mm-hmm. But I do think that I think that that does hit home for a lot of people though. So,
but then also on the other side, you showed me a tweet of that guy who said, "Well, my 100-year-old grandma just died from the coronavirus." So that's the other side of it, where like, yeah, man. If you're 100 years old, like, you're gonna die at any moment from almost anything. Like, you are going to stub your toe and get pneumonia the next day, even if the Wuhan wet market never even if that wet market was dry as a bone. It doesn't matter if fucking Lil Xan was president. If you're 100 years old, you're about to die at any moment.
It's true.
Corona don't help. That's for sure.
It does. No, it never helps. That's absolutely true. I watched some videos of this shit that's going on in DC. It's pretty crazy.
You talking about the Million MAGA March?
Yeah, dude. These guys are out of fucking control, man.
Yeah, I mean, what is it going to take? I mean, like, it seems like the Proud Boys are pretty good at fighting.
Unfortunately,
and
I'm afraid
not that good at fighting, so that's a bummer.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid there's nothing that can be done. Kind of like
there's definitely nothing that can be done. Like,
it feels like these guys are just like, they're going to believe what they want to believe, and it doesn't matter if it's based in fact or not, which is a really insane way to go through life. But like,
yeah, I mean, there are people
like
who
this
are
dude
just,
was. I saw a video of a dude just like full on punching a woman, like a Proud Boy dude punching a woman. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. I knew it was that crazy, but I didn't know it was that crazy like over the weekend, like this recent.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the early straight edge days when everyone, you could replace it with your punk rock friends or your skater friends or your hip hop friends or your friends who you did nitrous with or whoever it is. If you ran in a bad boy circle, sometimes you would get into, like, you and your 5 friends would get into a fight with another group of 5 people. And you would punch each other, and that's what happened. And there was always one person in the friend group who took it a little too far because, like, they were like raped by their parents, or like their dad burned them with cigarettes when they were a kid, or like there's always somebody who was like a deep tormented person that seemed normal, and then then when it's time to fight, they let it out. They let like their demons out with their punching and kicking to a point where you're like, holy shit, bro! Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
yeah, relax.
You're literally like beating up a stranger simply because she's a black woman, and you're fired up. Like, those people exist, and now they have a home, and they all collect and gather, and they all unfortunately wear Fred Perry shirts, and they're just like, yeah, we are now. Like, we have enough people now to where we don't have to hide, and we can just say, like, yeah, we're like white power people, and we just want to like fight because that's the only thing that's going to work, because Gavin, the other bad Gavin, has told us that that's what we have to do. We have to kill. We have to kill other people to keep our land.
I mean, it's really, the videos are really crazy. It just seemed. I mean, it's like. I mean, I guess we knew this would happen to some extent, right? You know what I mean? Like, I guess we kind of knew this would happen based on previous behavior, but I guess you always hope that it doesn't get that bad, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, just from looking at it from like the violence standpoint of like, if there's, obviously Proud Boys are outnumbered by people who think that Proud Boys are bad, by 1,000,000,000 to 1, but
Yeah, but they're willing to resort to like anything.
yeah.
That's what makes the difference.
And they have, now they're starting to do a little light stabbing, but the like we like Antifa bros or like people who don't like Proud Boys, like they can't just gather like, all right, well, let's get 10,000 people with rifles and just murder them all. Like that's what you could do, but like you can't do that because then the government will come in and like drop a bomb on in Oregon and blow the whole state up. It's that'll turn crazy. We can't just all fight them with our hands every day in the street until what? They die. There's nothing that we can do.
There's nothing to be done. I mean, I think that it's just like it's a.
We're gonna have to maybe embarrass them or something. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's I think if you go that extreme, you're just not embarrassable at a certain point. It's like you clearly don't give a shit. Like also, I just imagine when your views are that extreme, I can't, like, your personal life must be in disarray unless you've been able to, unless your parents agree with, you know what I mean? Like, is that really possible that like you go fully insane, your parents and family and, wife or girlfriend or whatever agree with you? Like, I just, that can't be, you like getting radicalized. I don't know if that happens in groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the only real, like, you'll see t-shirts and Instagram posts of saying like, if you see a Nazi, punch a Nazi. I think that might be, the only thing that could work, because some, if you're walking down Rodeo Drive and there's 75 people wearing Fred Perry shirts, you're not going to go up and start fighting them because they'll just swarm you and beat the shit out of you. But
yes, you will lose.
If you're at the Grove and you see a Proud Boy with his fat girlfriend who just left the M&M store, or whatever, and they go into the parking lot, go up behind him, and
that's the time,
and hit him with a fucking bottle or something.
That's why I keep the tube sock with a pool ball in my car.
That's what you have to do, because then they're like, wait a minute, maybe it's not worth being a Proud Boy because every time I go out, I get assaulted. Yeah. That's the only thing that could really work, because and you have to let them know that they're not able to be a Proud Boy in public unless they're in a large group. And then at that point, I don't know, throw cans of tomatoes at them or something.
It's just, I mean, I don't know. I guess also seeing guys around LA wearing the MAGA hat, like, still. Yeah. So if you're wearing the MAGA hat post loss, like embarrassing loss, then that means that you are only doing that to like incite a problem. Like you don't, there's no, you know what I mean? It's not like you don't, that's not what sports memorabilia does, or sports hats. It's like if you're wearing something that divisive after and not that the issue is closed, but the issue we've made steps forward is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. So if you're wearing that, the only point of that to me is to inflame people and you hopefully start shit.
Yeah. That's the same. I was talking to my life partner about this yesterday, which reminded me of that vibe of the rapper Octavian, who was recently outed for physically assaulting his pregnant girlfriend and trying to give her $20,000 to sign an NDA that he didn't do it. Which is awful, but for every time somebody will post like the screenshot of the conversation and there'll be 1,000 comments of like, fuck this man, I'm deleting, I'm throwing your t-shirt away, I'm deleting all your music off my computer, you're dead to me, you're a piece of shit, I hope you die. There's always 1 out of 100 that's like, nah, dog, this is bullshit, we're gonna be all good, like we're gonna make it through, this bitch is lying, fuck this hoe. Like there's always that one person.
Of course, yeah,
that's who the Proud Boys are. That's who these people are, because they're so damaged and destroyed inside that they are inviting you to, nobody will interact with them at all. So they've resorted to this level of kind of shit throwing just so someone will talk to them at all. And then also there's a little bit of the Eminem stan logic behind it.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I'm the guy who's, I'm never going to leave your side. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you kick a pregnant woman in the stomach. Like, it's going to be all good, and also like, you know, we should be together. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a little bit of that energy as well of like, if I show my allegiance, then this person might, maybe Octavian will send me a DM.
No,
or
that's
maybe
totally
Trump
true.
will ask me to like speak at his next you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to Lil Pump.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, like it's like he basically just showed some attention to these guys, and they like dropped everything they were doing and went and did it. You know, and it's like, did Lil Pump's fans care? I think it'll take a little time to tell. I mean, I think
Lil Pump doesn't even have fans anymore.
Well, I mean, that's the thing,
and if
right?
they do, they're not able to vote for their. I mean, did we already make that joke? They're either legally not able to vote because of all of their felony charges on their record,
or they're too young,
or they're 13 years old.
I believe we have talked about that, but I do think that there is some sort of. I just seeing these guys because I see it. I see the MAGA hat in LA post election. I mean, it's only been a week, obviously, but I see it pretty often. Like,
yeah. And if you leave, like last weekend, can you believe it's only been a week since I almost died from frostbite? But like when we were driving up to Lake Arrowhead,
I had already forgotten, to be honest.
I know, right? When we were driving up to Lake Arrowhead, you go through like San Bernardino and Fontana, which are like, you know, basically Kentucky in California, and like there you'll see like a tricked out Chevy Camaro with like a big ass Trump sticker on the back of it. And the guy's like going 100 miles an hour in the carpool lane, like flipping you off, like please look at me because my family started talking to me, and you know,
it's crazy.
Same energy.
It's crazy. I mean, it was when the guy was. I think I told the story about the guy driving down Larchmont with the Trump flag, just like honking, just like, dude, what do you like? This isn't your market. Like, what do you, besides trying to incite violence, like, what are you doing? That's so insane.
That's all it is, because they're like,
it's so insane.
There's no point of driving your monster truck with a 11-foot long Trump flag through a Missouri Walmart parking lot that you're just preaching to the choir. But if you're like, what if we did this, you know, and went to one of their pussy strongholds, Larchmont Village.
yeah.
And then we'll show those fucking losers what it is. You know, it's the same logic as when you're like sitting in outside a coffee shop on a Sunday morning, you know, and there's like a little puppy that you're petting, and you're about to eat a muffin, and some guy on a Harley drives by and is like throws a bunch of rebs, and everyone looks at him just like, all right, you're fucking okay.
All right, dude. Yeah,
thanks.
Cool, dude.
And he's like, haha, got him. And then he's gonna go home and fucking cut himself, and you know,
like, what is that? I just don't.
Pee in a water bottle.
Well, it's like.
But those people, unfortunately, we can't exterminate them. And we can't rehabilitate. Well, maybe we can rehabilitate them. They just need love.
No one likes to lose. No one likes to lose. That's human nature. But once the loss is confirmed, you must move on. And in this case, the loss is confirmed, guys. You lost. It's over.
And Trump tweeted saying he won.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's really interesting to watch people like delude themselves, you know, just because they want it to be the way that it isn't.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how far this journey will go.
Yeah,
until like the QAnon type of people will stop being like, all right, this is just a sign. This is all in the playbook. Trump wanted to lose this, and then that means that he's going to free, you know, Tom Hanks's kids are going to not be slaves anymore, and then, you know. They're every time something bad, like, oh, all of his lawyers left, so that's a sign that this thing is going to happen, and this is all part of the plan. How far down the road will it go? Like, when Trump dies in the next 3 years, will they be like, oh, this is all like, will that stop them? Like, if Trump is the only person who is alive who is able to, free all of the child sex slaves, like,
I mean, maybe. I mean, that's the question, right? Will these lunatics put their faith in someone else? Like, will a new leader emerge? You know, like,
who's it going to be?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, or is I mean, I think Trump made it happen because he spoke so radically, you know, and just went insane, so they felt seen. I don't know. I mean, does that mean someone's going to have to be more extreme? You know what I mean? Because that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, if things progress or degress, I guess, closer and closer to the idiocracy style of American life, they're going to have to be.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be somebody who's gonna have like Pfizer patches on their suit in NASCAR style and all that shit. But it was making me think about Trump saying, like, finally admitting defeat and conceding by saying, just tweeting the words he won, and like just to be a millionaire person who's like, what is he, like 74 years old or something, to be still acting like an infant, even at that age, with that much accomplished in your life. Like, who would ever want to even have sex with him, let alone just talk to him or something?
I mean, I think that he is going to be extremely isolated and like have a real hard time. And I think that's part of the reason that he's hanging on to this when there's nothing to hang on to. But I do think he's also going to make a lot of money and kind of, kind of give these people. But again, like, what if he has no power? Because he won't. He has no power. He's just a citizen like you or me. What's he gonna do, guys? Like, what's he gonna do?
I guess he'll do what any person in power has, is form a media network and
sure, be
able to move things behind the scenes instead of
but that's of course, and that's very possible. But that, to me, is no, you're right. I mean, it's not meaningless, but it's not the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's two different fucking playing fields, and I think that it's, the further away he goes, the better off we will be. So let's just hope for that. Let's just hope for that.
Well, he's going to Florida, much like a lot of people are leaving Manhattan and New York and heading.
That's true.
I just read today, for our final note, since this podcast started and since Chris Black fled the failing New York City Manhattan skyline, over 300 people have filed change of address forms through the post office, leaving New York. That's a lot of people, and that's just the people who have done it legally. So maybe 400,000. Counting all the kids and stuff like that.
No, I read somewhere that it's like there's the most available real estate in Manhattan maybe ever.
Damn, bro. So when is New York going to come back? Once we get the like 1 year from now, when we have the vaccination.
Unfortunately, winter in New York is never great. So I don't know. I mean, I saw some people giving me shit like, oh, you left New York, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, bro, I want my life to be better during a very difficult time. Like, I'm not gonna sit inside and want to kill myself to prove something to guys on Twitter. Thank you. Mm-hmm. No, but I do think that, it's the greatest city in the world. It will rebound. I watched the Sofia Coppola movie last night, and it really got me a little misty,
Is that which one is that? The Bill Murray one?
On the Rocks, yeah, On the Rocks.
What do we give it?
It was like a 6, 7. It's like fully fine and entertaining, but it's not it's not like, oh my God.
It wasn't no Lost in Trans.
No. But it's a very it's a New York movie, and it's like the best part of New York, obviously, because they're like rich, successful, people living downtown, with like beautiful children and beautiful apartments. So it's tough to not like that.
It's basically a documentary about your life.
About Sophia's life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It did have a new original song from Phoenix, which is actually pretty good.
I missed Phoenix.
I know. Where have they been,
All right, Chris. Another great Sunday one-on-one potty.
Yes, Jason. Thank you for your time as always. Self-Care Sundays, every week.
Make sure to listen to our new episode of How Long Gone Radio that just went up this weekend as well. If you want to hear us playing all the cool new music and also all the bad new music that came out this week, you can find it only on Spotify. Smash that motherfucking follow button. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ThemJeans.
Yes. Follow me on Instagram at Done to Death Projects, Twitter at Done to Death. We will see you on Wednesday with another guest. Thank you all.
Goodbye, this great nation.
Goodbye.